You missed the best part of that.
Go.
At the very end, I realized that a lot of these AstroTurf protests, that the people are not really organized, that they don't know why they're there. You can challenge them on their signs. So at the very end, there were about 2,000 there, and they didn't know who I was except for the people in the front. So I said at the very end, I said, you guys, it's been a really long day. Let's just end it now, and let's all go to Applebee's. And they went to Applebee's. They started to disperse, and there was an Applebee's on the corner. And on Twitter, there was like a crazy, we're going to the post-rally at Applebee's.
Oh, nice.
And that's on video.
Nice. So I didn't even get what the protest was, because at one time it was like corporations are not people.
It was against the Koch brothers that had their yearly philanthropist get-together, and the New Yorker had just done a profile on them, and they became the new Soros of the right. And so everybody there was organized by Van Jones and Greenpeace and a lot of lefty organizations, but they really didn't know who the Koch brothers were. They were just kind of told they're the worst people that have ever stepped on the planet.
So wait, the protest was like, you want to give money to help people? Ah.
Well, we actually, with our video cameras, got them to say, we need to string up and lynch Clarence Thomas. We got them to say on camera, we need a revolution, we need a revolution. I said, what do you mean by that? They said, you know what I mean, like in Egypt. So once we left there, the organization that organized that protest against the Foundation had to apologize for all the racism that we had caught on video. More video than has ever been captured of the allegedly racist Tea Party being racist was found on the video that we were able to get from the anti-Koch rally.
That's kind of nuts. But, you know, I guess where that takes me next is, I mean, one of us is doing that, I guess. This is sort of like how online can be sometimes. You know, sometimes we just go insane about something and no one knows why. And but you captured it in video.
That would be me. I
in person.
Go insane sometimes.
Yeah, but I mean, there's things like suddenly everyone will show up and say you should make your avatar green because you're going to support Iran by doing that. Like somehow the pixels on your Twitter account are going to fix Iran. And I guess, but I think that tends to be a sort of a left experience more often than not. I mean, in a way, I've been thinking about this ever since we first started talking. You're like even more dangerous than Stephen Colbert because you mean it. You know, Stephen Colbert is like, you know, parodying Bill O'Reilly, but you're dangerous.
Well, thank you, I think.
No, I mean it in a positive way. How has this experience been? I mean, you started, and I know you don't only want to talk about politics, you want to talk about Pixies or something. How has that experience been, kind of flipping right over from left to right, and you know, to quote John Kerry?
Well, I was just on the Bill Maher show opposite John Waters, and I talked to John Waters backstage, and I said to him, you have no idea how much you inspired me. I was more inspired in this lifetime by John Waters and Abby Hoffman and who else? Hunter Thompson, Mary Pranksters, Ken Kesey than I was by Newt Gingrich, to say the least. And Waters loved that. I mean, he likes to have fun at that, you know, what he does. So I don't think that the left is used to having one of their, I'm like, right now David Mamet has a book coming out. There are a lot of apostates out there like Dennis Miller who don't fit comfortably into the right-wing world, and I'm one of those people. I live in Los Angeles. I live like within, you know, 0.73 miles away from a Whole Foods. I live a very lefty life. The music that I like is mostly lefty. I just happen to be more of a rugged individualist than a collectivist in terms of my political philosophy.
So you can't use the word maverick anymore. Someone broke that one.
No, I can.
Wait, what's lefty music?
Well, I mean, my gosh, I mean, Paul Weller, I mean, The Jam, or the complete leftist, Matt Johnson of the complete leftist. Those are like probably my two favorite musical entities. I mean, when they, and Billy Bragg type guys in the middle of the 1980s, these guys were anti-Reagan, they were anti-Thatcher, they built their albums around them, and they're still the music that I listen to.
So I'm an absolute, I fall into that category, unfortunately, of all the disassociated and disillusioned who kind of vote at the last minute because someone forced you to show up at the election booth and who are in no way ready to talk about any of the issues. But I guess one of the things I was thinking about too is I think the left has done a much better job of trying to make it seem and feel more cool. Like, I think to your point, when you say you kind of don't fit in.
The left is the culture, though, and that's my big argument in Righteous Indignation, is that you guys, hey, you think that Newt Gingrich and Eric Cantor and John Boehner are going to solve the problems of this country, and it's the left out and all. One of the reasons why I'm really pissed is because I have friends out in Hollywood who are right of center, whether they be religious conservatives, I'm not one of them, whether they be libertarians, and they're scared senseless, and there are thousands of them that would love to put their money where their mouth is, but there's plausible deniability blacklisting because it's a social industry.
Right.
And when you ask the producers out there, what do you think of conservatives? They say, well, they're Nazis and they're fascists. And then you ask them, well, would you put a Nazi and a fascist on a set? So these people keep their mouths to themselves, so that the Sean Penn is existing in a false premise that there's free speech out there, because the people that I know that include punk rockers, when I found out that Billy Zoom from X was a big right-winger, I was like, it was revelatory to me. When I found out David Mamet's book, when I read his book that's coming out June 2nd called The Secret Knowledge on the Dismantling of American Culture, I was like, I can't believe somebody from that world is willing to go that vocally and say, I disagree with this point of view. I don't want everybody to agree with me. I just want on universities there to be more free speech. I want there to be more free speech in Hollywood, and let the best ideas win. I'm not that political. I'm just an anti-political correctness person who just wants there to be more voices. That's why I created the friggin' Huffington Post, so I could have on my resume that I was part of the narrative to create more voices, not less.
That's the thing you don't get a whole lot of credit for either, the creating of the Huffington Post, because it isn't really called the Breitbart Post, I learned. Yeah. But, think about that. I mean, that thing went, it had a purpose. I mean, you did work for Drudge Report before that, and so you've had yourself in political blogging since kind of the start, right?
I'm a proto-blogger.
Yeah, proto-blogger. I mean, there you go, 3 in a row.
Nothing better to do, and the thing is, from 1995 to about 2000, all of my friends were becoming lawyers and doctors at Harvard, Stanford, Dartmouth, and I was saying, I exist on the World Wide Web, I'm not getting paid. Talk about loser territory.
Yeah, good job, hippie.
Yeah, no, and so now I get
of course, that's us out here.
Now I get to do a victory lap on rollerblades and go, I told you the internet was the future.
I think we should all get rollerblades. I'm not allowed to because I look like a refrigerator getting lost from its truck, but
Me too.